Dr. Fauci, it is an absolute honor to have you not just back on the show, but back in my new little space. So, first things first, congrats on still being the chief medical advisor to the president. Depending on what media I'm consuming, you are either hailed as a hero or people are calling for you to be fired. My question to you is, do you always just have to have your LinkedIn profile ready and loaded because you never know what it's going to be like for you?
Not really, Trevor. Not really at all.
So you're
I
stable
think
now. Yeah.
yeah, I'm in pretty good shape. I mean, you're right. There are a lot of slings and arrows that come with this job, but that's to be expected. It's a very controversial issue and very charged in many respects, particularly with regard to some of the things we're going to be talking about, mandates and vaccines and masks and all the other things that get people very exercised.
So let's talk a little bit about that. Let's jump straight in. You have been working in the field of infectious diseases for, I mean, a lifetime. You have seen pandemics and epidemics come and go. But this feels unique. It feels unique in that people are fighting not just against the virus, but also against what many people are touting as the solution, aka the vaccine. Do you feel that your team could be doing a better job in convincing people to to get the vaccine? Or do you think we've gotten to a point where now politics has taken over the conversation?
Well, we always can do better. And what we're trying to do, Trevor, is to get, for example, trusted messengers from the community to try and convince those people who have been recalcitrant about getting vaccinated. People who don't want to get vaccinated are not a homogeneous group. They
Mm-hmm.
have different reasons why they don't want to get vaccinated. Some of them just need more information. Some have understandable suspicions about how quickly things were done, and some just need a little coaxing. But there are some, and I believe it's a substantial proportion of the remainder. There are about 75 million people who are eligible to be vaccinated who have not gotten vaccinated. Many of them are really almost for ideological reasons, because it's no accident when you look at the under-vaccinated states and those places where you're having surges of virus more so than in any other part of the country. It's very heavily weighted towards red states as opposed to blue states. And that really shouldn't be, Trevor. It should not be. This is a public health issue. And as you said very appropriately a moment ago, the common enemy is the virus. There shouldn't be the divisiveness that we're seeing. We're trying our best to convince people, but you reach a certain point where you almost hit a wall that you're not going to get to a certain group of people. And that's where mandates come in. I mean, no one likes to mandate people to do things that they may not want to do. But sometimes, for the greater good of society, you have to do that. Same thing like seatbelts and
Right,
things like
right.
that we do. You have to do it.
But when you look at mandates in a world where so many people are unsure of the vaccines, in a world where people are still reading about side effects, people who may or may not have died. A study just came out now about adolescents having, especially with teen boys, having a greater likelihood of getting a side effect than getting any of the bad symptoms from COVID. Isn't it difficult to then convince people in that world, because it feels like the government is forcing them to do something before everybody knows about the vaccine? Or do you feel that if we don't act now, then we're facing down the barrel of an even worse gun?
I think the latter, but with regard to, you mentioned a moment ago, one of the problems, Trevor, is that there's a lot of misinformation and disinformation out there. The thing we need to do is to get as much correct information out there. For example, many of the points that you brought up are countered by the mere facts. For example, if you do a risk-benefit ratio of the benefit of getting vaccinated, particularly among younger people who might have a greater likelihood of getting this unusual and rare adverse event of myocarditis, which is an inflammation of the heart, almost invariably resolves without any real negative consequences, that when you do that risk-benefit ratio, and it's done in a very serious way by statisticians, that the benefit of getting the vaccine far outweighs the risk. That's just a fact. And then when you think about the other misperceptions that are due to misinformation and disinformation, you just have to be patient and do your very best to counter the misinformation. And I believe when we do that, you will gradually see people. For example, one of the things that was sort of a stumbling block was that the Pfizer vaccine did not get yet full stamp of approval, what we call the BLA, for a biological license application. As a matter of fact, it now does have the stamp of approval. So many people who were saying, I don't believe all you're saying, I want the stamp of approval of the FDA. Now we're seeing some people who were not amenable to getting vaccinated are now getting vaccinated. But we're getting to your latter point. We've really reached the point now where although we're still vaccinating people at a reasonable rate, we don't want to go into the fall, the children going back to school, the getting into the holiday season when you have such a substantial proportion of the population, i.e. 75 million of the eligible people who are not getting vaccinated. That's just asking for trouble.
Before I let you go, one of the things I learned the last time I spoke to you is that people sometimes don't really get the science. I know I'm one of them. I'm not a scientist. I get the basics and that's about it. However, I do understand people's actions. And so we asked you what to do with our Amazon packages. We asked you what to do in public, etc. So I wanted to ask you if you wouldn't mind playing a game with me called Would You Rather? It's really simple questions, just so I understand what Dr. Fauci would rather do, because in life we have to make decisions. Are you game?
I'm game.
All right,
I'm
let's do it.
angry,
Don't worry, I'm not going to get you fired, Dr. Fauci. It's just a question. It's just a thing. Okay. Would you rather attend an outdoor concert in West Virginia, like right now, or an indoor concert in Vermont?
That's a good question. I think outdoors is always better than indoors. I'm fully vaccinated. I probably would wear a mask, but outdoors is that much better than indoors.
Even in a place where the numbers are spiking?
Yeah, again.
I said, would you rather? I know, I'm putting you in a tough spot. Please don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I know what I'm doing. That's the whole point of the game. I know what I'm doing. But you're saying outdoor is still. Yeah, no, I would never do that. I will fight the people who soundbite the show, Dr. Fauci. We're having a conversation here. But the outdoor is the important thing, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay,
exactly.
okay. Would you rather watch the movie Shang-Chi in a movie theater or on an airplane?
You know, it's very interesting. Airplanes are doing what they can to really provide protection with HEPA filters and having people wear masks. I'm not sure what the movie theaters are doing. If they're providing really good ventilation, I think it could be an even match there. But until I know what the movie theaters are doing, I know what the airlines are doing. So I would probably be in an airline.
Okay. Final question. Would you, Dr. Fauci, rather fight one horse-sized duck that has COVID, or 100 duck-sized horses that have COVID?
I go for the one-on-one as opposed to the many.
I see. Is this because of like the risk of spreading amongst the many, and you can handle the one?
Exactly.
Okay. All right. Well, I know you're a busy man. I'm always grateful to you for taking the time. I'm grateful to you for being calm. I know you are one of the most hated and loved people on the planet, and you get sucked into the politics when you just want to talk about the medicine. So thank you for joining me on the show. I hope to see you back. Hopefully next time we see you back, there'll be 1,000 people with us. There will be no more pandemic, and we'll be laughing about how we fought this thing and we won. So Dr. Fauci, thank you so much again for your time.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Thank you.